Okay, the first thing you do, the most important thing is, you take all the tiles and you put them in a bag. That's the fun part. Well, part of the fun part. And you shake them all up. Shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid picture. Okay. It's not really in the spirit of the game.
Nobody knows what a Polaroid picture is.
That's right. It is kind of an unusual thing now.
It's rare.
It is rare. Although I think they've made somewhat of a comeback nowadays.
Yeah,
So
because
the instant photographs.
it's off the grid.
It's off the grid. Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pull a tile. Pick a player.
You go first.
All right, I'll go first. We recommend taking one coin and shaking them up and pulling a color, and whoever picks goes. Or you can pick the youngest or the oldest goes first, or you can play rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. Any way you want to handle it is good. Okay, for my first pull, I have pulled a castle tile. Castle tile is a village tile. It goes in my village because it's the first one that I have. I'm going to put it in one of my moan positions. Also, it has many of the tiles, but not all the tiles, have actions. This particular action is a circle with 4 dots. That is a shortcut action. The shortcut action will be used to facilitate movement. Normally in the game, you're going to only move either horizontally or vertically, or what is called orthogonally. With the shortcut, you can now move diagonally in addition to horizontally or vertically or orthogonally. And from that vantage point, it accelerates movement substantially through the board. Each traveler, regardless of how many farms you have in a village, has a base movement of 2 moves. In the beginning of the game, not very relevant, because the only thing I can do once I place a tile is I put the traveler on it. Now, this is a castle tile. Because it's a castle tile, I get an ammonite is placed upon it. That happens first. Then I put my traveler out, because that happens in the movement phase. When I land on a piece on any tile that has a treasure, like that, I automatically collect the treasure. Because it's the first piece it happens to be, I put the ammonite in the treasure shot glass, use that carefully, and that is the end of my turn, because that's all there is to do. And I'm going to pass the bag, because blue comes next. And when you pass the bag, that is the end of your turn. And unless you are very nice or very charitable, the player will not give that back, and you will not be able to change your mind. All right.
All right. I'm the blue player right now, and this is the farm. Just pull the farm. He does need that to work on the moan. You can pick any of these 4 spots. I like to be at the front. It's got a shortcut action, and I'm just gonna go stand on that because there's nowhere to go.
Shortcut enables movement, can't go anywhere.
Oh, red has pulled a temple. I can place it at any of the 4 temple spots. I'm gonna pick this one over here. The temple has its own treasure. And since that's my first tile and I can go on it, I'm gonna do that, although now I'm kind of exiled.
Yeah, if the first tile and the only thing that's like this is the lake, you put it down, but you can't put your traveler on a lake. Nothing ever goes on the lake. A Kami could go on the lake, but there's really no purpose to doing that. You'll see later as we get into the middle of the game. All right, I'm gonna pick I got a forest. This forest has a shortcut. Again, there's not much movement to be done yet, so we're just kind of taking you through the motions to show you how tile placement done. I put it out, my traveler comes out, and now all 4 players have gotten their travelers out. And the next piece I pull for green, I pass the bag, is a shrine. Shrine also is also going to put it in my moan areas. I could put it outside of it, but I want to complete my moan as soon as possible. I'm going to get that treasure. But because it's a shrine, a village treasure comes out on the shrine. Because I happen to be next to it, I can move up to 2. So I can move. I'm just going to move 1 and collect. Green now has 2 treasures, which is a quick start for green. I'm going to pass the bag.
Okay. All right, I'm the blue player, And this is the tile. It's a dojo. So that's worth 1 fairykin available to me. Put it there so I don't forget. And the action on it is a volcano, which is where we exile another player. I'm going to place that in my Mon spot. And there's not a lot of places to go.
So in exile, you must exile another player, and only another player, not your own player. And you take a traveler from any location on the board and put it to any unoccupied position. And because we're so early in the game, there are only 2 places to put it.
Well, no, I just put this.
Yeah, sorry. The action always comes first, and then the placement of the tile comes. So that's not an eligible place to put it because she hasn't put it down yet, really. It's an action. It's an exile, so she can take yellow, red, and put it in that position. So that's her exile.
It's an odd move, but it's the only one.
In the beginning of the game, some of the pieces are restricted in what they can attach to.
Now I'm playing for red. Red has pulled a farm, and the action is a wave. It's the destroy action. I'm going to put that on my Mon spot, and because I'm over there and there's no tiles placed, I'm going to stay there.
But it's a destroy.
I do have to destroy
And
something.
if you have a destroy action, you must destroy something. It's a landscape tile. Destroy operates only on landscape tiles.
It's the only one, so it's out.
Yeah. One other note, whatever tile you pick, do not have to be placed contiguously. So she had that farm tile, went into the village. If she had chosen a landscape tile, it does not have to go next to the temple. Of course, it's her advantage to do so because then she can start movement, but ultimately you can put a village tile anywhere in your own village, not anybody else's village, or a landscape tile anywhere on the board. It does not have to be contiguous to any other tile. All right, this is yellow's turn. Yellow picked a shrine, and the action on it is a raid. That's a little ninja guy. So first, I have to take the action, which is raid. Raid allows the player who pulled it, the yellow player, to destroy a village tile as opposed to a landscape tile, which is destroy. The difference is there's less of the raid actions, which is by design, so that way we don't end up destroying all the village tiles and making the game very difficult to play. So we had a distinction between destroying a village tile versus destroying a landscape tile. Raid only destroys a village tile. In this case, it's an action, so I'm going to do the action first. And I can either destroy the only 2 available. If a traveler or a kami occupied cannot be destroyed or used or raided, so I can either destroy this farm or this dojo. I'm going to choose to discard this dojo out of the blue village, and then I'm going to place the shrine here. I'm going to place a treasure here. Yellow has been exiled over here, can't do anything about it, so he can't really get over to get to that yellow at this point in time. And now it's green's turn, pass the bag, and we will continue on. Green got a market.
Ah.
All right, so a market is a place where we will go to collect coins. And remember, this is green's turn, so I'm going to put this in a place that is most favorable to green, which happens to be right next to him, because now it will allow him to collect a coin. So yellow, you only get 1, and you only per player can ever collect 1 coin of each color. You can't ever get 2 or 3 or 4. And we will talk about the functions of these coins a little bit later. 3 coins, once you collect 3 coins, you can trade them into either exile or to restore a piece that has been previously destroyed or raided. And there's an important value point to that. All right, so that's it. I've moved there, and I'm past the bag. It's now blue's turn.
Okay. Blue has drawn a lake. It's got a shortcut action on it. There's nowhere to walk anyway, so I'm gonna put this lake somewhere where it can do the most annoyance. Block red, and that's it.
Blue still can't move, doesn't have any place to go yet.
Now,
All dressed up, no place to go.
now I'm drawing for red. Red, it's got a path tile. There's no actions on this one, but at least red can now move, so I'll take one step out and pass the bag.
Okay. All right. And now it's yellow's turn. Yellow has pulled a shrine. He has a shrine already, so that's really important. Also, it's a shortcut, which means that you can see the little diagonal. I could move diagonally, although I really still don't have much place to go. But most importantly, this is yellow's second shrine. We already have a shrine in the Moan position, so I could put it in the Moan position, but I don't want to do that because I want to collect 4 of each different kind. So I'm going to put it somewhere outside of the Moan positions. I don't really want to put it next to here because red could just pop over and grab it. So I think I'm going to put it in the interior, and then because it's a shrine, a village treasure comes out, and that's the end of yellow's turn. I think yellow is going to stay there and maybe head over towards the blue. All right, now it's green's turn.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, green got just a straight path, and green likes that treasure. He's kind of fond of the color yellow. So he's going to put that over there, and he's going to head in that general direction. Pass the bag.
Okay. All right. I'm drawing for blue. Blue, you got a shrine. Has a shortcut action. It is not a shrine, so I need that in my Mon. And I would be able to place the treasure and collect.
Perfect.
Now that's blue's turn. Now I'm drawing for red. And red has got a forest with a shortcut action. Which means with my 2 steps, I'm going to place it here. It's a shortcut. I can move diagonally. I've got 2 steps to me. 1,
No.
2.
No.
Oh no, I take it back. I have to stop there. It's a forest.
Right.
I'll have to wait till the next time to get that other step in.
All right, this is where a shuriken comes in. She doesn't have any shurikens available.
I do.
You shouldn't.
Well, I do. Oh, it's from the demo.
It was from the demo before, yeah. But if she had a shuriken, she could have placed it on there, and that would enable free-flowing path for red and red alone through that forest, and she would have been able to move that. But she doesn't have a dojo or a blacksmith yet, so.
Too bad for me.
Oh, that's fine. But she is one closer to that yellow treasure, and green is eyeing that with suspicion.
It's yellow's turn.
It's yellow's turn. Oh, it doesn't mean green's not eyeing it. Okay, yellow got a farm, and it is a shortcut movement. So yellow is going to place that inside the Mon because it does not have a Mon a farm in his Mon yet area. By the way, Mon is the Japanese concept of a family crest, and that's what we're trying to accomplish here. If you have a shrine and a farm and a castle and a dojo, or the mill and the blacksmith respectively, then you have successfully completed the foundations of a village, and you are able to claim a family crest at that point in time, and that gives you treasure. So that is the purpose of that. So anyway, it's yellow's turn. Got his farm, puts it in his Mon area. It's a shortcut. Yellow is going to move. He can move 2, 1, 2, but because it's a shortcut, he's just going to move 1, 6 of one instead of 7, half dozen of the other. And because yellow now landed on the yellow market, yellow is going to collect a copper coin for his use later. Passes the bag, and now it is green's turn. Green is still eyeing that yellow with suspicion. Green got a farm.
Good.
Which is a landscape tile, which means he can't get there, which is unfortunate. But he got a farm. He does not have a farm in his Mon. And green now has 3 of the 4 needed to complete his Mon. It's actually going pretty quickly. Green is tearing up the landscape, as it were. And green can now, because the base movement is 2, with the farm enables 1 additional. I can now move 3, but again, we're early in the game, so we're not moving much yet.
Okay, I'm drawing for blue's turn, and blue got a castle.
All right.
And a jewel action.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So, doesn't have a castle. I'm gonna place that in the Mon area, and
That's the trick.
first action is
Bring a jewel
treasure.
out.
Oh, let's do it in order.
Yeah.
First we have put a jewel out. So Where can I do that?
What that means is you must take an unplayed treasure of anyone, village or castle or temple, and except for the moon, and place it on
Unoccupied.
on its tile that does not already have a treasure. So, for instance, the shrine. Village tiles only go on shrines. She could take the village tile, put it on the shrine in the green village. She could take an ammonite and put it on this castle. So I know it's hard for you guys to see. You put on that castle one. Or she could take a temple treasure, one of these, and put it on that temple. It's all up to her because she has drawn that treasure action is actually what it's called, not jewel.
Right.
Yeah, we've changed the name. So which one are you going to do?
I'm going to do this one here, the temple treasure.
All right.
There it is. Since Red already has it, I'm not threatened by him. I'm going to place the castle in my village.
And because you've placed a castle, you automatically bring out
An ammonite.
castle treasure.
And I'm going to collect that.
Now movement phase. She
Ding.
lands on that and collects it. Now blue has 2 treasures.
Blue's done.
Mm-hmm.
And red has drawn a forest tile. And it's another treasure.
Oh boy.
Is it treasure?
Yeah, treasure action.
Treasure.
Yeah.
So, treasure first.
So you only have 2 left, I think, right?
Yeah.
You have this green treasure. Oh no, you could do a blue
I could do
treasure,
blue.
or a green treasure, or another castle treasure.
I'm going to put the blue treasure out
Okay.
over here.
And
There you go.
this is Red's turn, right?
This is Red's turn.
Okay.
I've got a forest,
Uh,
which
but it's not a
doesn't
shortcut
help me much.
because you can't move diagonally.
So, there.
Green is still eyeing that yellow treasure.
I'm going to put it here. And I'm going to take one of the 2 steps.
That's all you can take
And
because it's a forest and you end your movement phase on the forest.
hope green doesn't get anything good.
Yeah, all right, it's yellow's turn first. And I'm going to, yellow got a dojo. The way you tell a dojo, it's kind of hard to see, but at the bottom of it, there's an arrow stuck into the ground. We'll make that more prominent in some later artwork, but or maybe a few arrows and make those arrow tails red or something. Anyway,
Good idea.
dojo. This is for yellow. I do not have a dojo in my mon at this point in time, so I'm going to place it there. It is a shortcut for yellow. We'll talk about that in a minute. But it's a dojo, so I will get a shuriken. I save it for now. I could place it now if I want to, but I don't really have anything to use it on at this moment in time, so I'm going to leave it in my player area. Anything off the board is something that is our stuff that's not in play. Anything on the board is in play. These things are community off to the corners. Okay, so it's yellow's turn to move. I've placed the tile. Yellow can move orthogonally or diagonally because it's a shortcut, and I can move up to 3 because I have 1 farm and 2 base movements. But I don't have a lot of places to go yet. Interestingly enough, in this game, we've had 7, 10, 11 village tiles and only a handful of landscape tiles, except for Red, who's done very well. So in the beginning of this particular game is heavy on kind of building out villages versus heavy on movement. We've played many games where it's exactly the opposite, where we have 1 village tile and we're just moving everywhere. So know that that's just a nature of the draw of the bag and the luck. So, okay. But I am going to, I think, head back, and I'm going to end up on this farm for now. I'm eyeing that blue now over there, or maybe a temple shows up and we'll see what happens. Now it's green, who's still eyeing that yellow treasure. He needs a path with a shortcut. And, I got a path with a shortcut. Called that out. And I can go, I'm going to put that there. And I have a farm, so green has 2 base movements and 1 extra for the farm, so I get 3 moves total, but I only need 2. 1, 2, and I go in and I swipe that treasure out from under red. So with that, I'm going to pass the bag.
Fine. Okay, I'm drawing for blue.
Yeah.
Blue got a forest with a shortcut. Not thrilled.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Plenty of options.
Fine, it's a shortcut. I can get 3 steps, so I'll take 2. And
Diagonally, yeah.
I'll hang there because there's nowhere else to go.
By the way, explicitly in the rules, it says that loving and snarky commentary are highly encouraged.
Snarky mostly.
Could be loving.
Could be snarky.
Hey.
Red also pulled a forest. No actions this time. And I guess I'm going to...
You really like the forest, don't you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Don't know what to do with it.
Could make a recommendation.
No.
I think it goes here. Because then you can move out of
I can't go anywhere anyway.
I know.
Okay.
Mostly because green wants you to move out of the way so you can get to that treasure. But also so you can get around green to go get that gold.
Yes.
I know.
Okay.
All right.
There you go.
Okay. All right, it's yellow's turn. Yellow would need the path. He needs to get out of the village areas.
Or a treasure
Or
action.
treasure. No, well, you got a forest and a destroy action.
That's the 3rd forest in a row.
There's a lot of forests happening. But we are going to place that there so we can move. Again,
Destroy
forest
first.
and stop. Oh yeah, I forgot. You have to destroy first. And yellow is a little worried about green. Green has 3 treasures, so we're going to actively deny green
Access
to that temple treasure over there and pass the bag. Okay, now it's green's turn. All right, green got a shrine and green got a destroy. Green already has a shrine in his village, so green is going to put this shrine as far away from everybody else as possible because green already has a green. Actually, as far away from yellow as possible.
Yeah.
And then we'll put the treasure on there. Actually, I should have done the action first. I always forget that. But it is important. The order is important, and the order must happen in the way that we talk about. The actions come first, and then tile placement, and then movement. And then spirit phase, which we'll talk about a little bit later. All right, so for destroy, green's going to do something interesting. Green is actually going to destroy this market off.
I knew.
Aha! So that will make it harder for the other players, other than yellow-green, who already have our coins, our yellow coins, to get to 3 coins because there's only 4 markets in the bag. All right, pass the bag.
You weren't going to move?
Oh, no, I passed the bag, didn't I?
You could move.
Oh, she's being nice. All right, it wasn't a diagonal, though. It was a
You're just going
destroy.
to take 1 step.
So I'm just going to make my 1 step because I have to go into a forest. It's dark in the forest. It's scary in there. A lot of spiders.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, if I didn't let you move, you would be in my way. Okay, blue pulled a farm tile.
Motivated self-interest.
There's already a farm there, so it's going to go out in the sticks. Way out.
She has to rotate it the correct way, though.
There it is. It adds another step to my
2 farms.
paths. So 2 farms.
Plus 2
1,
base.
2.
You can
So
move
I have
4.
4. Nowhere to go.
A lot of village tiles early.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder who shuffled these. Must have been me.
Red pulled a castle. There it is.
Hey, that's good.
Adds to my mon. Take that ammonite treasure. Far away, but I can still move. I get 3 steps.
Ooh.
Normal. 1, 2, 3.
Did not have a shortcut, so she had to proceed diagonal. Not diagonal, the old-fashioned way. Exactly. All right, it's yellow's turn.
Yes.
And we're going to... All right, yellow got a lake. All right, lakes are very, very strategic. And yellow doesn't want green to get to that treasure if at all possible. So we're going to start to see if we can surround that treasure with lakes and forests. Just make it hard. It's yellow's turn.
Yep.
He wants to go to the blue. Doesn't really want to change direction, so he's going to hold off and stay there for a minute. And then, now this is green's turn. Green got a farm with a shortcut. So green is going to place this farm here. We'll put it on this side. We'll put it on that side. And and that gives me 2 farms plus 2 base movement gets me 4, and it's green's turn. But again, forest acts as a movement inhibitor, so I'm going to go 1. All right, we're going to pause here. We're going to play a bunch more rounds on this, fill out the board a little bit more, and then we'll come back and pick it up about 2/3 of the way through the game so that you can start to see some of the more advanced movements.